Good evening and welcome to all of you joining us online for the Jasmine T. Bryant Brighter Day Fund. Real people, real talk, real segments geared to offering help and hope to those dealing with the challenges of mental health. Perhaps you personally are fighting a battle or struggling, or you know someone that you want to stand beside and support who is indeed walking that treacherous journey. Tonight I have with me my special guest, Unique Bowman and Trinity Bright, two awesome young ladies who have come to share their story. I am a mom, and I've talked to a lot of moms and dads, and we know that mental health is not something that is strictly an issue confined or restricted to adults, that there are a number of our young people who are battling and going through some significant challenges. So if you are a mom, a dad, a parent, a sibling, a friend who could benefit from this, then we really want to invite you to lean in, to listen in, and then to share this information. The goal, of course, is to provide help and hope, and our expectation is that something that is shared in this segment is going to make a significant difference to you or in the life of someone you love. So with that, I'm Latoya Averhart, and we're going to get started. So Unique and Trinity, welcome. And thank you, ladies, for joining us. Appreciate you guys being so bold and so brave and so willing to share your story. So I'm going to ask you, like I've asked each and every person I've sat with this week, first, and I'll start with Unique because you're closest to me. Unique, can you share with us your story?
Okay, so my name's Unique. I'm 17. I'm a junior in high school. I suffer from depression and anxiety. I was last diagnosed last summer. I went to crisis and I was feeling really down on myself, and I've been feeling down, and I've been going through a state of depression for a while now, like since I was seventh grade.
Wow.
So every day battling self-harm and a lot, not communicating with my parents, and it was really hard to go through. I just started to reach out for help and talk to my mom and better communicate, and it was really effective, and I ended up going into therapy, and eventually went to go see a doctor, and I started taking Zoloft, which is an antidepressant, and it's been really hard. Like, it's not something that it's like easy, like like the flu. Like,
Right.
it's like
Right.
it's something that just can't go away in a month or 2 weeks. It's long term,
Yeah.
and yeah, that's right.
Journeying through. Yeah. Trinity, I see you nodding your head, honey. Tell us your story.
Okay, I'm Trinity. I'm 15. I just recently been diagnosed with anxiety. I have both like social anxiety and anxiety. So both of those are like really hard. And them together, they really do not like mix at all. It's like extremely hard. But I've been, talking with therapists about everything, and it's kind of something that I normally do is I don't really communicate with my parents about how I feel, so just having somebody that I do feel comfortable communicating with is like helpful to me. So
Yeah. Good. Thank you for sharing, ladies. Unique, you talked a little bit about opening up to your mom. What led you there?
Well, it was really hard. Like, it's opening up to something. Like, I'm not growing up. I had a really strong connection with my mom, and it kind of drifted off apart. I'm a middle child, and I don't know. I really guess I don't seek a lot of. I don't get to receive a lot of attention, I guess. So I just growing up, I was so close to my mom, and I became very distant, and it was so hard for me to connect and open up to her until I felt like it was really time to speak up and tell her how I feel, because it was getting really worse into a point where I didn't know where I would end up if I didn't
Right.
speak out and like go seek for help.
If you didn't say something.
Yeah.
And Trinity, you said you don't necessarily open up to your parents, but what brought you or what led you to the place where you were connected with a therapist?
My parents actually, they set like an appointment up for me. It wasn't like a choice for me. I kind of just did it because it was something that they thought I needed in the moment, and it has helped. So yeah.
Yeah. So even though maybe you didn't take it to mom and dad leaned in. Love it, love it, love it. Now, we are aware that I'd like to say COVID is over, but truth be told, so many of us are still, working through and walking through the impacts. Some of you guys are doing virtual school. I guess you guys are back in the classroom. Folks are still teleworking. And so there's all these long-term impacts. As two young ladies who have battled with some mental health issues, talk to me a little bit about how COVID impacted you.
I could say that COVID was really hard because being dealing with it in school, and you still have a lot of people, I feel like you still have that social interaction
Right.
with people, and that kind of gets your mood up a little bit more than it is when you're just in the house all the time. And when everything first got shut down and you really couldn't even go anywhere, except for Wawa, Walmart, and couldn't go to the basketball courts or go to the playground. It was really hard. I feel like it was nothing. It was a really deep, dark place for a lot of people. I feel like not just there's a lot of teenagers around the world. Yeah. So.
Well, for me, I feel like it was a little different. Personally, because of social anxiety, I feel more comfortable when I am around people that I'm comfortable with. So, being at school, I have to put on different face or front, and it kind of causes more anxiety.
Yeah.
So, being home kind of helps with that. So I think it kind of helped in a way. It definitely was hard in other ways, but being home, I definitely feel like was more calming for me.
So it was some relief for you, but a little bit more pressure, isolation, versus maybe some type of elevation for you. That's interesting, and I think these ladies are just being honest, being real. COVID has impacted us all distinctly in some really unique ways. One of the things I've heard said and I've repeated is that though we are all in the same storm, we're not necessarily in the same boat. And so I think it's imperative for us as parents and as peers that we're sensitive to and aware of some of the really distinct things and distinct ways that COVID and its after effects are impacting us. So speaking of distinct ways, talk to me a little bit about the ways that you have found to cope or channel or express what it is you're going through.
Okay, so after I got a crisis and all, I really found they gave me really good coping skills that I could, put into my life. So when I came back, my dad got me a keyboard, and I used music as a way to kind of cope with the things that I was dealing with. I will also write poems and poetry, and learned how to play certain tunes, and it really helped me as an escape. Also, I play sports, so that's also an escape for me.
So it's artistic expression, and some physical energy, right? I have read some good things about how walking and working out and cardio activity impacts our mental health. So please be aware that though therapy is highly recommended, that medication, again, when you need it, if you need it, recommended, but also understanding that artistic expression and physical activity can also offer an outlet, a way to cope or manage some of those things that we're encountering. Trinity, talk to me about your coping mechanisms.
I feel like being around family was really helpful. Also, I feel like having time alone to process certain things also helped. I also use writing a lot, poetry, and that kind of helped a little bit with kind of allowing myself to really think and analyze how I was feeling and put it into words that I can express to other people.
That's so good. That's so good. So my last question for the both of you, um, if you had a peer in school who shared with you that they were struggling mentally, what would you say to them? How do you encourage them? What's your advice?
I think I think my strongest advice would be to communicate and bring it to someone, rather that be like me or a friend or something, and just really try your best to just like get out of your comfort zone, because I know it might be hard for people to like come out their comfort zone and get that help that they need instead of just battling with it on their own. So I think communication and getting that help is important.
Good. Don't be a lone ranger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the same thing. Just try to talk to somebody who is going to listen and who is going to actually help you move forward, instead of like someone who maybe you'll talk to them about it and maybe they'll make jokes about it.
Yeah.
But you need somebody who's going to be there, who's going to actually help you and help you grow through it.
Love it. Love it. I've heard it said that we grow through what we go through. And I think you two young ladies are strong examples of exactly what that looks like. And my hope is that, again, those tuning in, those who will hear about these episodes will lean in and see again that there are people their own age, right? It's not just, the old heads, as it were. I don't believe I called myself an old head, but who are dealing with and navigating, but there are people at 15 and 17 who have real challenges but have found real methods to manage, to overcome, to triumph. You guys can be trailblazers and examples, and you don't have to wait till you're 21 to do that. So thank you both for sharing. And I believe we have, we talked some about how you express yourself. And so Trinity, as we close this segment, I'd love to hear your work of poetry where you are expressing yourself.
Okay. This poem is called Breathe. There is something about stress that drives me insane. Like a non-flying plane or a broken train, it starts small, but progresses and it grows and it shapes, taking many forms until it's too late. Stress is like a boa constrictor, squeezing away all the joy and happiness, leaving only worry and weakness. Stress is a shapeshifter, comes in many sizes. For me, stress comes easy. It comes when I feel no control over a situation, the worry of a low grade, or the fear of any changes. It's weights being carried up high mountains and hills, giving me no moment to stop and chill. But once there's too much weight, I'm sure to fall, even after I give it my all. Stress is like a balloon that fills up with air. When I avoid it and give it no care, it pops, then it's left into little pieces scattered around. Then what happens when the pieces can't be found? For humans, it's different. We don't get two chances. We have to begin again and leave all advances back to square one. They would always say, easier said than done. That's for sure anyway. When you're at the bottom, there's nowhere to go but up. When you're at the bottom, there are endless possibilities to create and form a person that you're meant to be. It's a moment to stop and think, giving me a second to breathe and be in sync with all the things that I am and I'm going to be. I won't let stress take over me. There's gotta be a moment when you can break through a simple dance with your broom or a single of a joyful tune. Stress doesn't have to take over you. Live in the moment, don't forget what matters. When there's rain, there's puddles that make fun splatters. There will also be rainbows up ahead. Just don't miss it sulking in your bed. Instead, go ahead and learn from your mistakes. We're humans. Mistakes are things that every human makes. But the best ones develop from the moments gone wrong. They grow more and more so that they become strong, although it's not easy, but no good thing will be. You have to learn to persevere, press on, and carry through. That's the only way to make sure stress won't take over you. You know when you've bitten off more than you can chew, because once you've done it, there's nothing more that you could really do but chew and chew and chew some more, and soon enough your mouth will be sore and now you're war. But then again, it's all right with me, because sometimes that's what life's going to be. Because now I've learned to take smaller bites, so just take that as advice. When help is needed, ask after you tried all you could, because so much more could be done. in a group of two. Being alone is something that will never get you through the tough and the bad and the hard and the weary. It will only make it harder to get through without fury. So find someone who is caring, kind, and true. They will help you make it through, revealing the good, the happy, and the funny. If you need someone now, you better make it snappy. 'Cause too much weight is never good for you, and taking big bites is bad for you too. Never let someone tell you what you can and cannot do, because that is a way stress can control you. So every chance you get, break away from stereotypes. They limit who you can be, and that's not right. They will also make you lose the sight of the person you are inside, and that is someone you cannot hide. There is something about stress that is so overwhelming. It feels like I'm drowning in all of my surroundings, and when it happens, what can you do? It's always about pushing through. Climb up those mountains and hills. Sometimes it's okay to stop and chill. It will seem hard in the moment, gone wrong, but when you learn, you will be strong enough to lift those mountains and hills. Soon your life will become an overflowing fountain of joy and laughter and peace and fun. But remember, more can be done if it's two, not one. And don't let people tell you who you are and aren't, or what you can and can't. You're the only limit that should stand. But please let yourself push through, because later it will make it easier for you. That's all I came to say. This is the end. Use this message as you may.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. That was beautiful, Trinity. Beautiful, Unique. Thank you so much, ladies, again, for being bold, for being brave, for being willing to share what you say and how you walk and how you conduct and carry yourselves through challenges is a witness for somebody else. So just the fact that you're sitting here today telling your story is an encouragement to someone else. I hope that you leaned in, you got to hear, you got some help, and ultimately that you'll leave the broadcast with some hope for you personally, and some hope that you can carry to someone else. I will say thank you again to Unique and to Trinity, my guests, and sign off now. Thank you so much for joining us. Have an amazing day, all.